how is India doing right now? And when do you expect things are going to return to normal? And I know that Reliance has taken a number of big steps to help the community and help the country, and it's been a big year for you. So I'm curious to hear, how did your company adapt to help move forward in the midst of this pandemic?
So the sheer magnitude of COVID-19 pandemic, like everybody else in the world, did startle all of us in India. But then I think it is not in India's DNA to be deterred by a crisis. I firmly believe that a crisis is too precious to be wasted. Every crisis presents an opportunity for new growth. And India has faced the COVID crisis with enormous resilience and resolve. Right? Prime Minister Modi has led India from the front. And while we are not as rich a country as some of our Western counterparts, being fiscally prudent, he has taken steps to take care of our vulnerable. As far as Jio is concerned, right, we had our own dedicated team, and I could tell you that we had never imagined that we would all work from home, and the network traffic grew multiple percentage, and none of us stepped out, and we could maintain 0.99% availability so that Indians could work from home, shop from home, study from home, remain connected to the rest of the world. You know, Mark, sometimes I wonder that if the pandemic had struck India just 4 or 5 years earlier, we would have not been in as good a shape as what we are today with all the connectivity we have. And the credit for that must go to our Prime Minister's Digital India vision, where he motivated the entire industry to roll out broadband in the first 5 years of his first term. During the pandemic, India has attracted the largest foreign direct investment in its history. Mark, we have our own example of how Jio and Facebook concluded our partnership right in the middle of lockdown. Right? And let me tell you with utmost sincerity that we at Reliance and Jio immensely value our partnership with Facebook. Thank you for your faith in Jio. Thank you, Mark, for your faith in India. I have no hesitation in going on record that it is your investment that set the ball rolling, not only for Jio, but for the Indian FDI, which has been the largest ever in its history.
What role do you see technology playing in this post-COVID world, especially as it relates to all of these small businesses that I know you share a passion with me that it is just critical that we serve them?
I firmly believe that technology, with all the digitization steps that India has taken, will democratize wealth and value creation, right, for individuals and small businesses. And let me explain this very simply. WhatsApp has hundreds of millions of subscribers in India. Jio has hundreds of millions of subscribers in India. JioMart, which is our retail service, right, actually has the aspiration of serving tens of millions of small shopkeepers in India who are the bedrock of employment. So what does this mean? This means Jio brings digital connectivity. WhatsApp, now with WhatsApp Pay, brings digital interactivity and the ability to move to close transactions and create value. And JioMart brings the unmatched online and offline retail opportunity that gives our small shops, which exist in villages and small towns in India, a chance to digitize and be at par with anybody else in the world. To my mind, more wealth creation means more employment, more business. And we together and our platforms and the tools that we will provide to small businesses and to individual consumers, I believe will drive India to a 5 trillion economy and will make a much more equal India with more equal wealth growth at the bottom of the pyramid.
Where do you see the country in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, as I mentioned to you, Mark, I really see India accelerating as a premier digital society. I see us integrating both 5G, and just yesterday our Prime Minister has said that he wants every village and every Gram Panchayat. India has 680,000 villages, and we have a population of 1.3 billion people. And he wants everybody to be empowered on the information highway with high-speed fixed broadband, and which is happening. We also think that compute and very low latency compute is real, right? I think that there is a great opportunity for really bringing education and healthcare with the second generation reforms that were done in the last 6 months, right? We have a unique opportunity in terms of, and as Jio, we are connecting all the 1.9 million schools in India and the 58,000 universities. At any point in time, we will have in the coming decades about 200 million children or young adults between the age of 3 and 18 in our education system. And I think that in a span of 10 years, right, we can set for ourselves an objective really to reskill India, and the talent that you talked about, right, can improve 10x, right? Today, you're just seeing the creamy layer, but that's what technology can do to really make a better India and a better world. The same thing we can do in health and all the emerging technology and integrations where we can make sure that we deliver services and we deliver good proactive health. We've learned that, and I think we are going to use technology. We are working very closely with all the authorities to make sure that we provide the technology tools and backbone for even vaccination in the coming quarters, right, using technology. So
I'm curious, what's the most important thing that you learned from your father and his legacy that has helped you build these just amazing businesses and get to where they are today?
For all the young people at Reliance and across India, I repeat, like my learnings in terms of building Reliance, in terms of really 3 basic tenets, right? One is for entrepreneurs, it's important to have courage and self-belief. And there can be no better person to demonstrate that in the last couple of decades than you yourself, Mark. The second piece that he started, and he's instilled into all of us, right, is that while you succeed, it's important to always have empathy and creativity in everything that you do. And by empathy, I mean put yourself in the other's shoe and make sure that how you make them feel is how you would want to feel. And at Reliance, we do that at many levels now. We care for our employees, our investors, society, environment, and above all, national interest, India. And the final thing that I have learned from my father is really the importance of relationship, trust, and loyalty. The whole of Reliance, right, now we are hundreds of thousands of people, is one big family. We're not related by birth, but we are really woven together by passion, purpose, and conviction. Mark, while all of us would love to know your views on how the world is changing and what you and Facebook are thinking about and what you see the future as? And just give us your perspective, Mark.
Technology is giving individuals power and opportunities that were previously only held by large organizations. So we've spent a lot of time today talking about small businesses, but one of the things that I think is so powerful about the internet is it makes it so that individual entrepreneurs and small businesses can now have access to the same kind of tools for reaching new customers and doing sophisticated analytics and communication that previously only bigger companies would have been able to build up the capacity to do that. And individuals can now share their ideas online and get access to information in ways that previously only wealthier people or larger organizations would have had the capacity to share their ideas or get access to information at that kind of scale. And overall, I think that just makes people's lives better. It's incredibly empowering and it's incredibly democratizing. And India, as the world's largest democracy, I think, again, it really makes sense to lead there because just empowering individuals, which I know is something that you believe deeply in as well, is just going to be a huge part of what will hopefully create a lot of prosperity, as you mentioned, in the decades ahead. So a lot of what I'm focused on is helping to create virtual reality and augmented reality. So that way we can share not only kind of a video of an experience, but you can use virtual reality to go into an experience and feel like you're right there. You can have holograms of digital objects that can kind of be as realistic as the physical objects that are there. Maybe in 5 or 10 years when we're having this conversation, I'll just hologram version of me will be sitting on the couch next to you instead of having to do this over a screen, and it'll feel a lot more realistic. So I just think that that's going to be incredibly powerful.